Guys, so today's piece of content that I want to talk about is an article by Jason Fried called Give It 5 Minutes. So in the article, he basically talks about the idea of reaction against listening and perceiving and thinking about. Um, so he gives his own personal example of what this looks like back when he was a speaker in 2007 at a conference. Afterwards, there was another speaker, Richard Saul Wurman, who came up to him and was complimenting him on his speech and the work that he did. But then Fried came back at Wurman and basically pushed back on some of the things that Wurman had said in his talk earlier, and was disagreeing with stuff and talking about his own views. And Wurman then said something to Fried that he said changed his life. So this is right after Fried is kind of tearing down what Wurman had said, and Wurman says, "Man, give it 5 minutes." And Fried asked him what he meant by that, and he said, "It's fine to disagree. It's fine to push back. It's great to have strong opinions and beliefs, but give my ideas some time to set in before you're sure you want to argue against them." 5 minutes represented think, not react. So I was thinking about this in terms of some other situations, some practical situations that these ideas would be put into the real world. And something I thought of was how sometimes there's gun laws where there's like the cooling off period, where if you're going to buy a gun, you have to wait a couple of days until you actually get the gun. And they've seen in studies how this has brought down the suicide rate in some places because they don't have this reactionary idea of going and getting a gun and then just reacting to something that might have like made them mad in the moment. But they have the cooling off period where they can think about it and mull it over, stew it over. So then I thought of the reverse side of this, and what it oftentimes looks like is if you ever see people in a debate, you see one person say something and then you see another person react to what they're saying, and then in the first 5 seconds, this person over here already has what they're going to say. They already know what they want to talk about. They're going to react to what the first thing this person said, but this person's still talking, and then they move on to another subject. And when they stop talking, this person reacts to that first thing they said, and then it just kind of becomes a reaction game. No one's really listening to what the other person says. They kind of just have in their mind what they want to say. They're not listening. Boom! Now it's my turn to explode with my thoughts and ideas. And if you do that second one, there's just not much progress that is able to happen. I thought of this practically in my own life is a lot of times when I'm going to a new place, I visit other churches. I like visiting and seeing how other people do it in their cities and in different areas of the country. And oftentimes I go into these services with kind of a judgmental, like, oh, what do I like about it? What are they going to do wrong? What do I disagree with? Instead of kind of going in with an idea of how can I learn from this? What are the things that I can take in? There was a piece of advice that old wise man once told me, and he said, you got to be able to chew up the meat and spit out the bones. And when you're going into these situations, you have to be able to take in the good and just take it, like you have to be able to take it all in first. And then when there are the things that you don't agree with after time, then you can spit those out. You can move them to the side. But until you take it all in and think about it and mull it over, you can't do that. So this article was fantastic. Just the idea of thinking about stuff, not reacting. I think a lot of people on social media could read this article and take time to read it over before they go posting stuff and reacting to stuff on social media and other things that happen. Fantastic article, and I highly recommend, and I'll link in the post here.